Have family members back in your country, you don't need to feel guilty about not sending them money.
So I'm not a Latina, but I no longer feel guilty about sending my family back in Nigeria money.
Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is Omomi, aka Petite Diva, and in this video we are discussing a certain thought that a lot of immigrants in the US, Canada, UK, Australia are having right now, and that is the fact that a lot of immigrants are saying that they would no longer be sending money to their relatives in their home country. Now, a lot of people have different reasons why they made that decision, and let's check out what they had to say. Then I'll come back to share my thoughts.
Have family members back in your country, you don't need to feel guilty about not sending them money.
So I'm not a Latina, but I no longer feel guilty about sending my family back in Nigeria money. They have tried to sabotage my life. They tried to sabotage my father's life, but I'm not the type of person that will look back on past mistakes and be like, oh, I'm just going to forget about it. I decided to give them a chance. And basically, they were plotting and planning behind my back. The way how I know is because in 2021, I got into a life-changing car accident. I nearly died. And in the process, my daughter that I was carrying at the time died. And guess what? When my auntie, whose granddaughter and grandson I had sent money to pay for hospital bills for, called me, the only thing that she could do is wish me ill. So at the end of the day, I take care of me. I take care of my family. When my grandmother in Nigeria was alive, I did try my best to honor her and give her her flowers, but that was the extent of my generosity. Another thing, too, is that when my dad came from Nigeria in 1980, they took advantage of him. He purchased many lands, properties. He built a hospital. He built a school. And at the end of the day, they squandered all of his land, all of his property, and any savings and finances that he had in Nigeria. Imagine land of that time that only cost a couple thousand now, going for I guess 5 figures in US dollars now. So at the end of the day, I don't feel sorry for not sending them money. I don't feel guilty. I mean, anybody that's coming from behind me and want to harm me, then I have to protect myself and my family. And I love what this auntie is doing. Like, she's tried. Nobody can blame her.
African math is sending thousands of money back home for a house to be built only to come back to no house or somebody else's house. African math is sending money back home when you're asked of it, only to be called a witch anyway. And when you stop sending money back home, you're called a witch anyway again. Thank you. African math is having your grandparents ask you for money, knowing very well they have children twice or even thrice your age who's been working for like 2 decades and earning income. But you're the one they asking for money, not, okay.
I was just watching Miss Angel's video about the reason why she's not sending money to Africa anymore. And I don't want to send money to Africa anymore, but for a different reason. For me, I feel like I'm a hater, right? Every time I go to Africa, especially lately, the lifestyle that they're living there is just ridiculous. So these people are the people that you basically feed, pay their rent, you know, when they get sick, you pay for that and all of those things. But these people are living their best life out there. Like, I go there, they go to the most expensive hair salons, they go to the most expensive nail salons. They're living large, okay? Like, they're out there drinking like juices all day. Mind you, it's not like in America where you buy juice and keep it in the refrigerator. You literally have to buy like the canned juice every time, and they're not cheap. For us, it might be cheap when you convert, but for them, it's not cheap. So that could rack up to like 1 day of worth of food for the whole family. They're going clubbing, buying shisha, like spending $15 on shisha. That's like $150,000 there, which is a lot of money there. So they're doing all of these things, living this, you know, glamorous lifestyle that you don't even have in America. And I just sit there and I look at them. I'm like, I'm the one funding like half of this lifestyle, and I don't even have this lifestyle. You know how when we're here, we're going, like sometimes you go through a rough patch or you're trying to save money for something. At least for me, when I'm trying to save money for something specific, or at times it's a little hard, I cut down on certain things, right? Like instead of getting my nails on every 2 weeks, for example, Sometimes I won't even get my nails done at all, or I'll go like a month or two before I get my nails done again. Or you know, like some expenses you can cut down on because of the situation, and then when you're fine, then you resume them. They don't know that. They just spend. They're like, oh, I need my nails done, or I'm gonna die. I need my hair done, and not everybody can do my hair. This specific person, like, there is no compromise because they know the money is going to come. You see the mentality? So for me, it was about 8 years ago when I went there and I stayed longer. Then I realized, these people are not struggling. These people just need extra money to do all these glamorous things, to live large. I'm not living large, and I'm the one funding all of these expenses. So I made the decision that I'm not sending money to Africa anymore. So for me, it's like, unless you're really sick and I can see proof that you're sick, or something very urgent is happening, like literally something very urgent is happening, or it has to do with the children and things like that, then I will send the money. But just to send money and pay somebody's rent, or you know, like things like that, I don't do that anymore. No more sending money to Africa. And I kid you not, as soon as I made that decision and I started sticking to it, my life here changed. You know what I mean? And the whole time you're sitting there, oh, I need to look for baraka. I need to look for baraka. I feel like some things don't even have baraka in it. The baraka will stop with my mom and my dad, and the rest of the people can just, let's all work for our lifestyle. I want to have that lifestyle too. I just don't have somebody else paying for it. So let's all work for our own lifestyle.
If you're Latino and you have family members back in your country, you don't need to feel...
I'm a first-generation American with both parents from Jamaica, and boy, do I have stories. I watched my mother send money back to her older brother in Jamaica for years. She was practically covering majority of his expenses. And the excuse was always, oh, things are so hard in Jamaica, there's not much opportunity, etc., etc. So when I was a teenager, I went to Jamaica for the first time and met this particular uncle. The first thing he said to me after finding out I was his sister's daughter was, wow, I heard your mom has gotten fat since moving to the States. Then he proceeded to ask 13-year-old me for $20. And I really think that's where my villain origin story began as it relates to sending money back home. Because first of all, this was an able-bodied man and he really could have worked. But I realized that the same people you're supporting will turn around and make jest of you behind your back. So if you want to send money, go for it. But this idea that you're obligated to send money back to people in your home country has got to stop.
Sending money back to your relatives back in Africa in this economy does not make sense. We are struggling the same way you guys are. Have you not seen the rise of living, bro? I can't afford it. So you man asking me to send you money back to Ghana.
The girl on here talking about something. She's never going to send money to Africa. She never sending money to Africa. And some people are outraged, right? Listen, I'm never sending money either. Listen, I just came back from Africa in August. Well, not just, but came back, right? And it's been 20 years since I went there. So this was like the first time, let's just say, right? And ever since I started working, I've always sending money to Africa, to my cousins, to my nephews, to people, like to relatives, always send money. Sick, school, blah, 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 Eid, all the time. Ramadan is coming, all the time. Never again, never. When I got there, I went with the girls. When I got there at the airport, there was like, immediately at the airport, there was like, oh, we need money to put fuel in the car. And I was like, I don't have no safers. Like, I only have dollars. They're like, okay. So we get to the house. I give money to one of them to go exchange it. They go exchange it. I'm counting my money. One thing, I'm no money. D-meat is like $20. I'm going to use my phone. My money is short $60. So I'm like, oh, what happened? Like, what's the rest of the money? They're like, oh, we took out the $20. We put gas in the car. We took that out. We paid the driver this thing. Your daughter wanted something at the airport, $5. We took that out. We took this out. We took that out. I said, okay. I'm at the house, right? The day we came in, we didn't even settle in yet. We took a shower and everything. We eating. And then someone in the house go, oh, y'all staying for how long? I said, we staying for 3 weeks. They're like, okay, you know, are you guys going to contribute to the food and everything like that? And I'm like, like, what do they mean? So I called my aunt here in America, and she's like, yeah, just give them something to contribute towards food because you and your kids will be eating there. Family house. I said, okay, cool. I give them $500. So that way they can contribute. So we contributing to the expenses of food. Every time we went out, we had to put fuel in the car. We had to pay the driver. At the end of the month, they give us our electric bill. And this is a household where
When I say we literally paid for to build, anything that goes on, somebody got to go to the hospital, somebody's sick, we're the one to like help, to pay. When we went there, every single thing we did, we had to pay for. If they bought my daughter something while I was out and about, when I came back, they would tell me, we spend $1 on your daughter, can we have our money back? Like every single time. When I was so shocked that when we was leaving, they told us that our light bill was $15. I looked at them and I said, I'm not paying for it. So I guess, I don't know if she went through that, but I personally went through that. And I was shocked. These are people, when I'm telling you, $800 at a time, $600. The least I've sent in a month was like $400, $800. During Eid time, I'm buying everybody clothes for Eid. I'm sending money to buy cows for families. When I said every house that I went to, if they bought water for us, they wanted to buy water for us, they would be like, oh, can you give $5? We're going to go get water for you. Can you imagine if we did the same thing? That's why I understood the girl. I'm not saying this is everybody family, because this can't be everybody family, right? But some families are like that. When you go there, there is no hospitality. There is. So in my last video where I said I'm never sending money to Africa again, you guys had a lot of questions. In the video, I mentioned that when I got there, after like 20 years, I got there, I had to put gas in the car every single time I wanted to go somewhere. I had to give like $500 for me and my kids to eat because they asked me to contribute to that. If I wanted water, we had to pay for our own water. If they did something for us, we had to pay for it. Despite us like sending money over the years and helping and medical bills and so many things, people had questions. They were like, what the heck? I'm going to answer something. So one of the questions was, how did they respond when you say you're not sending money or when you stop sending money? The same thing, like you a dunker, they meaning you're a cursed child. You're not going to get no blessing. Nothing good is ever going to come to your life. Like you're mean, you're selfish, watch. You know, you're going to like you're going to fail. Like misery is going to come to you. Same stuff. Which is normal. I mean, listen, that's normal. That makes me laugh. That's actually whatever. Someone else asked, maybe they really couldn't afford, you know, to feed you guys or whatever. Maybe that's why. No. I don't want to get too personal, but no, they can afford it because I know for sure they make $3,000 a month in that house. For sure. 100%. Is the fact living beyond your means because you have family in Europe and America and France and whatever. That's why you have to live a particular lifestyle. But otherwise, yes, they easily make $3,000 a month. They can afford to host us for 3 weeks without us having to give a dime. And you know, the audacity was that when I was leaving, right, they were like, oh, you're not going to like leave us anything. You're not going to give us anything. Like the day I was leaving with my suitcase and everything. And look, I have all this money, right? I put my money in my bag and I said, I'm taking it to the U.S. All this. These are $20 bills. I have all this money that I could have easily, like, if this thing would have never happened, I probably would have given it away to different people. Probably give everybody $100 a piece. But because of that, I was like, no. Look, the audacity to ask after all this. After, if you buy me water, I have to give your money back. If you buy my kids popsicle, I have to give your money back. And then when I'm leaving, you want to ask me, oh, you're not going to give us anything? You're not going to leave us anything? I took my thing. I still have it. I even forgot that I had it. I brought my money back with me. Hell no. And lastly, you know what? I really don't like to talk about stuff like this, right? Because I have 6 siblings. And I also feel like as much as I like to talk about things, I have to respect their privacy. But what triggered me was when I watched a young lady video of her saying she's not sending money back home and people were coming at her. And it just triggered me. That's one. Number 2, you guys know I'm heavy on the Afghan, what's going on, like the soccer. And I wanted to go to Afghan. I only work 4 days a month here. I work PRN. And I already work my hours. So I have time off. I wanted to go to Afghan. I told these people that I was coming, right? I wanted to watch the Afghan. I'm coming, right? And they're like, why would you come? Why? You can't just send us that money instead of wasting it to come watch the Afghan. And some people might be like, yeah, just, girl, I work. If I want to go watch the Afghan and make me happy, I should be able to do that. But it's like, why are you coming to watch the Afghan if you could just send us this money? I was like, because I want to watch the Afghan. That didn't work, right? And then it became, okay, well, if you come, we're not going to be able to pick you up from the airport because the car is broken. Unless you send me $1,000. Unless you send us $1,000 to fix the car so we could pick you up at the airport, we won't be able to pick you up. Yeah, The audacity. And like, and somebody else was like, well, why don't you have a conversation with them? Let me tell you something. In an African household, you don't talk back. You could be 50. You don't talk back. If you talk back or you defend yourself, it's basically like you're insulting them. It's basically like you basically beat them up at this point. So like defending yourself is not even worth it, because it's gonna become a fight. It's gonna become like more problematic. So you just take it and just smile. I mean, that's just the way it is. So unfortunately, it's no like sitting down, talking about it, talking back. It's not even worth it. It's not even gonna click in. So with that being said, I'm really not gonna answer anything, because I'm gonna be like a faucet spilling tea, and I'm gonna have to start walking around with bodyguards, which is not necessary. So it baffles me. It baffles me just as much as it baffles you guys to know that legit, like. And the weird thing is, like, I have Nigerian friends and Ghanaian friends who was like, when I was telling them this, they was like, yo, I be going home. I go back home with nothing in my pocket. I literally just come home and it's my family house. Like, I don't pay for food, nothing. Like, wow.
Some of the stories that they said, I quite agree with them. Don't send any money back. What the heck? You know, I have a video where I talked about black tax, and if you don't know what black tax is like, people expecting you, once you reach a certain economic level, or mostly like when you go abroad or something and you're earning a lot, that you're supposed to be taking care of people. And in that video we talked about a lot of things, and one of the things that a lot of people were saying that they have stopped participating in giving black tax or even giving money is the fact that people get entitled. And looking at some of the stories that these creators have shared, I don't blame them for saying that they are not sending back money to any of their family member, because how can somebody have an accident, almost lose a life, lose a child, and you are calling, you have several family members of yours, daughters that are alive, and you begin to speak ill of such person? No comfort, nothing. Like in that other video where I talked about black tax, I talked about the fact that some people shared their experience where their father just died. Their father was the one that was always sending money, that was always giving people money. And when they had not even buried the father, and a relative came to meet the first daughter, or I think the first child, and was saying, know that now that your father has died, you are the one that will take up the responsibility of taking care of everybody. And she was like, are you okay? I've not even finished processing that my father is dead and you are saying such. Another creator shared how she has been sending money, and she said the least that amount is $400 that she has sent. And that, I don't know the country, I think she's from Cote d'Ivoire, I'm not sure, but in Nigeria, $400 at this point in time is almost like 500,000 naira. So if you're sending for above $400 to even like $1,000, that's millions and millions that she has been sending. I don't know how much it is in our country, but that's a lot of money in Nigeria, and I know it's a lot of money in most African countries because dollar rate is always higher than our currency. So for her to continually send money for so long, and now she decides to come home and you are billing her left, right, center to buy sweets for her child, you will collect the money back. To buy fuel, to go collect the money. They will feed in the house, paying $500 for 3 weeks. What are they eating? And it's supposed to be a family house. So if she and her children were not there, they would not eat. They would not eat well. They would not eat. And how many things were her children and her eating that she had to pay $500? I was watching it and I was like, this is ridiculous. Almost everything. And then you had the audacity when she was leaving to say, are you not leaving anything for us? It pays her to go and be in a hotel. She should have lodged herself and her children in a hotel or Airbnb. I know that she's start paying people to help her out, maybe someone to drive her, someone to take her, someone to cook. It pays her to have done that than to be in your family house in which you paid a large amount to build, and then you have to be paying every time $5 here, $50, $100, $500. That's ridiculous. And then expecting that when she's leaving she should send money. And she now says she wants to come back to watch AFCON, which is the African Cup of Nations. And then you're saying why she's coming, and that she can send the money that she would use to fly back home to watch the football matches and everything to them. That to me, that reeks of entitlement and greed. Like they just use her as a cash cow. And like one of them said that she saw that they were living a lifestyle that was way above what they should be living, because they felt like they have somebody that they can always collect money from. And it's just terrible. And one of the creators also mentioned that she saw what they did to her father, where he had houses, he had land, and then they sold it and they squandered it. That is one occurrence that a lot of people talk about. Like some people would send money back home to build their own house, so that maybe when they retire and they want to come back from wherever they are, US, UK, wherever, they will have somewhere to stay. And some of them will come back home and see nothing, because the relative that they trusted has gone to use the money to live a lifestyle that is above what they should be living. I know that when I was in the UK, a particular church member was telling me how that God must protect and keep his mother for him, that he's trying to build a house, and he knows that if he sends his money to his siblings, they are not going to do anything. They are going to squander his money. That is his mother that has been the one that he has been using to help build the house that he wants to build for himself and his family, and that she has been focused on doing it. So he knows that the money he's sending is actually going to the house, and he's also sending money for her and everything. But that if his mother was not alive and he had to send money to his siblings, that he knows that that work was not going to go on well. He's very sure that the money will be spent by them, and it will not be spent on what he wanted them to do. So this kind of thing is just very disappointing, because you're seeing someone that is giving to you, and they expect at least you should be able to give back and also be empathetic to some things that happen. But you see some people, like I said, entitlement and greed will not allow them to see anything. Someone mentioned that if you don't send money, they will call you rich. If you don't send enough, they will call you rich or wizard or whatever. It's true. Some people, like I said, are so entitled to your money. They feel like any money you're earning is not for you. And a lot of people have said that when they started putting like a control, when they started budgeting or planning, or even just completely cutting off giving money, they started seeing that they had more money to spend, because the money that they were working for and sending, they started keeping it to themselves. So imagine you're sending $1,000 or $500 every month, and then all of a sudden you stop, and then you start saving that money. So at the end of the year, you get like $6,000 to $12,000. That can do a lot for you. So I understand why some people have said, no, we're not doing that anymore. And you cannot blame them. Listening to some of the stories that they've said, I cannot blame anybody, because you gotta take care of yourself too. And if the people that you're taking care of are not even appreciative, or treat you like you're just a source of I don't know, wealth or income that they can always bully to get, there's no point in restricting yourself from doing a lot of things because you are doing it for some people that don't appreciate what you're doing. So that is what I think about this whole situation. I don't know if you guys have any contrary opinion to what I've said and what has been said in this video. Do you agree with some of the reasons why some of those immigrants in the US, UK, Canada, Australia and other places are refusing to send money back to their relatives in their home country? Are you an immigrant? Have you had any similar experience with what some of the creators have shared? I would love to hear your own experience. I would love to hear your own thoughts about this whole situation. So please leave your comment in the comment section so that we can get this discussion popping. Now, if you like this video, please give it a thumbs up. If you are not yet subscribed and you like videos such as this, please consider subscribing by clicking on the red button that says subscribe, and don't forget to click on the bell notification icon by its side so that you're notified anytime I upload. Now, with all that said, thank you so much for watching. I hope to see you